Hey, what's up guys? Hope everyone's doing great. Today I want to talk about Annihilation, the new sci-fi film written and directed by Alex Garland, starring Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, and Jennifer Jason Leigh, so let's get into it. The story in this one is based on the Southern Reach trilogy written by Jeff Vandermeer, and it follows a biologist that joins an expedition team that is tasked with entering a dangerous environmental phenomenon no one has ever seen before. Now, I think this will without a doubt be a hit or miss film with audiences. I am still somewhat divided with my actual impression on it. It both entertained me and it let me down, but overall I think it does have a lot in its corner, and it's certainly worth watching to see where you stand. First, let's talk about the performances. I thought this film had a fantastic cast, and they all deliver compelling performances for their needs or their roles. Natalie Portman was certainly a capable lead, and she honestly gave the character much more depth with her portrayal than she had to work with on the writing side. I thought Jason Leigh, Rodriguez, Novotny, and Thompson were all solid as well, and they certainly make the most out of the material. They definitely all carry the runtime with some clear effort shown, and despite them all kind of feeling like shells of much deeper characters, they all do leave a good impression on the film by making likable, connectable characters. I thought Oscar Isaac also added a strong performance to the cast. He was super intense with his mannerisms and his expressions, and I thought for what this film required, he accomplished it. And he was also able to create a natural chemistry with Portman despite this film being a little thin on the character dynamics. Which leads me to the story and writing. It was a very ambitious plot. The story early on felt very fresh. It was intriguing to see this environmental catastrophe known as the Shimmer take shape, and the first, I would say almost half of the film is extremely captivating as some of the foundations to the what and why of things are built. We then get some honestly cardboard character types, but I thought it worked because the Shimmer was the star. The story builds the problem quickly, brings our characters in, and the mystery around the plot takes shape nicely, but then a specific scene comes in that really felt like it set the path for the rest of the film to me. I'll put the spoiler warning up even though it isn't technically, so hit the mute button while it's on screen if you want zero specifics. But in this scene, not long after our characters have entered the Shimmer, Portman's character awakes from a flashback dream. She climbs out of her tent to hear the other characters talking about them having lost 3 days. They've gone through 3 days of supplies, and nobody even has a memory of setting camp up. I thought it was very interesting, but the characters shrug it off. They pack up and move along. No conversations are made to try to figure things out. The structure of the dialogue was just blatant exposition, which is fine, but how it was delivered just took away the natural flow of the conversation. It was simply a scene to let you know that weird things happen in the Shimmer. I thought the lack of concern in the characters made me not give a crap either, even though it did build some genuine curiosity, and really from this point the film ventures into more moments of exposition over natural development, telling you what is happening and why, and really explaining specific scenes as opposed to proper world building that I was hoping for. You pretty much have to take things at face value and enjoy the explanation of the visual set pieces and imagery that coincide. So for that aspect, it's still a fun movie, but also lacking in some depth. Halfway through, it really begins to follow the formulaic path with a slow pace that suddenly hits the gas in the last 15 minutes with a third act that was serviceable but also mildly familiar with its approach. However, it was a story that delivered a handful of intense moments as well as some suspenseful and unique scenes. It just felt like source material that was deeply rooted in science fiction that was given the Cliff Note treatment for a mainstream film script. Now let's close it out on a positive and talk about the visual effects, the direction, and cinematography. I thought this aspect of the film was fantastic. It's a beautiful movie from start to finish. The visual effects are wildly creative and extremely well constructed. This film uses lighting and color perfectly to create an awesome look to the Shimmer, and once inside, there's even more awesome imagery that's really going to have your eyes locked in. I thought the direction from Alex Garland was excellent. He frames up the shots perfectly and uses the right technique at the right time, and he just gives the film a very deep, polished feel. Because I thought throughout the journey these characters take in the story, it was very engaging to see things you haven't seen done before, and for science fiction I can always appreciate that. There are some suspenseful scenes that really had me locked in, and it was a combination of the setup, the fantastic musical score, and crisp visuals that really pull it off. So overall I think I'm going to give Annihilation 70% on the entertainment meter. It sold me with some elements of its creativity. It also felt lacking in others, but it's certainly worth a shot if you've liked what you've seen in the promo material. I would have just liked to see this movie on a Netflix series, maybe with an 8 or 10 episode run to work with, but that's just me. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review of Annihilation. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. If you like this review and you'd like to see more like it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Anthony. This is the Silver Screen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.